Two Chairs No Waiting, episode number 688, Mayberry Meetup and Summer Events 2022. Two Chairs No Waiting is brought to you by folks just like you, and the executive producer of episode number 688 is Danny and Jennifer Vincent, and the High Sheriff of Two Chairs No Waiting for episode number 688 is Chris Merrill. So I want to thank them so much for being a part of the podcast and helping to support the show. I'd love for you to be able to do that. If you'd like to, you can head over to patreon.com/2chairs and do that. But hey, you might want to listen to the show first. I'm Alan Newsom, the host of Two Chairs No Waiting, and it is great to have you here with me. You might want to listen to the show to decide whether you'd like to support this. And there's another, 687 episodes before this you could go check out if you'd like to. I've been doing this since 2008, right here with you and talking about the Andy Griffith Show at Mayberry and just trying to keep everybody up to date on all the goings on around Mayberry. So we're going to be talking today a little bit about some Mayberry events that are coming up this summer, to include the Mayberry Meetup. And then we'll play a little bit of trivia that SpiritWalker provided for us. And we'll hear from SpiritWalker with his Returning to Mayberry report. So we've got a lot to get through. So let's get this thing rolling along. So this summer, in many summers, this is our 10th summer, as a matter of fact. We're going to have the Mayberry Meetup. That's right, the 10th annual Mayberry Meetup in Mount Airy, North Carolina. That's coming up on the weekend of the 15th and 16th of July. That's a Friday and Saturday. And then on the 17th as well, we'll be doing the Mayberry Bible study that morning. At the Andy Griffith, at the Motor Inn there, the hometown of Andy Griffith. So we'll be doing that on Sunday as well. So it's going to be at the Mayberry Motor Inn at the gazebo. So there's a lot of information. So if you'll go, and there's a link in the show notes that tells you about it, and it'll take you to basically a page where I've written up a lot of details and stuff about what's going on and things, and why we started and why these things are there. So you'll be able to scroll through all this information and things you can do throughout the town. Now, one of the things that's not on there yet, let me go ahead and tell you, is during the meetup, what we do on Friday night and Saturday night, we get together at the Mayberry Motor Inn at the gazebo, and out front there, we set up a big screen and we watch Andy Griffith Show on the big screen outside, kind of like a drive-in movie theater, except not driving in, just sitting in chairs. And we have a great time. Everybody can visit. We get there before it's dark, so everybody can sit around and visit and just have a good time on both Friday and Saturday night. And as I said, on Sunday morning, we'll do the Mayberry Bible study before we'll usually start about 9 or 10 o'clock. I can't remember. It tells on that page. If I would read my own stuff, I would know this. But we will start that on Sunday morning and get it done so everybody can get out of there about 10 o'clock. We get started and be through by 11 or so. So definitely something you might want to do. Now, this year, we got something special, a couple of things that are special, actually. So on Friday, this has just been added. On Friday, during the day at 2 o'clock, we're going to show the Mayberry Man movie. That's right. So we'll be showing the movie Mayberry Man at the Andy Griffith Museum Theater. So it's in the bottom of the Andy Griffith Museum there in Mount Airy. We're going to be down there in that section. We're going to be able to show the Mayberry Man movie, and everybody can visit and talk about it. Several of the people that are in the movie, including myself and Ken Junkin as Otis, will be there, and probably more than that. I'm just not quite sure who else is going to be able to attend this year. And so we'll be there as part of the movie or the event. So you'll be able to have folks that were in the movie actually there watching it with you. And maybe we can give you some background stuff and some fun information there too. But it's going to be held right there at 2 o'clock at the Andy Griffith Museum Theater. Okay. Down at the bottom of the theater of the museum. So that's a big new thing we're doing. This is our 10th year. And since it's our 10th year, I do want to mention that you can go and get the 10th anniversary t-shirt. Now, this is not sold over at Weaver's. This is sold by T Public is the name of the place. And that's where you can get all the Two Chairs No Waiting podcast t-shirts and things like that. But there is a Mayberry Meetup t-shirt that's got Thelma Lou on it, and you can go over there and get you one and have it mailed directly to you. You can pick your size and color and all that kind of stuff. But it's honoring Thelma Lou, and since it's our 10th year, Thelma Lou was the reason we all got started doing the meetup. So definitely something you might want to do. Now, this is not a commercial, so please don't run away. This is not it's not a commercial for you guys to go out and buy things. But there are a lot of events going on during the summer and coming up into the fall. So let's talk about them just a little bit. Now, if you are new and don't know, you can head over to imayberry.com. And when you get there, you'll be able to look at the event calendar. So if you go to the event calendar, it'll take you to the Mayberry event calendar. And there you'll be able to see all the different events and stuff that are going on in and around Mayberry. Some of them have already occurred that are currently listed, but this is a place to look no matter when you're listening to this podcast. Even if it's after all this summer of 2022, you'll be able to see these things. So coming up on June the 18th, you're going to have Neil Brower is going to be at the Andy Griffith Museum Theater, the one I was just talking to you about. He's going to be there doing his Professor Brower's lectures, and he's going to do that in June. It's going to be on the Andy and Opie Housekeepers is what that one's going to be about. So if you're in the Mount Airy area and you're going to be there that day on June the 18th, go check that out. On June the 24th and 25th, Keith Thibodeau, our buddy Keith, he's going to be performing with David and the Giants at the June Jam for Jesus at Cross Camp Cowboy Church located in Rainbow City, Alabama. So he's going to be in the Alabama area. Doggone it. And the reason I say doggone it, go check that out if you're in the area and you'd like to go see Keith. Also on June 25th, we're going to be screening Mayberry Man. Now, this is going to be a nice thing. It's going to be screened at the Bama Theater in Tuscaloosa, Alabama. That's the reason I said doggone it, because I can't go see Keith because I'll be busy doing this. But we're going to be supporting Eagles Wings of Tuscaloosa. Eagles Wings is a organization that provides for adults with special needs. And it's a great organization that the tribute artists have been involved with, the Mayberry folks. And this is definitely something I'm proud of. So the Mayberry Man movie is going to be shown there at the Bama Theater, and all the proceeds are going to go toward Eagles Wings. So that's going to be a really big event to come and be a part of. And we'll have a Q&A session. There are going to be door prizes, and the screening begins at 6 p.m. So get your tickets or show up. Make sure you can get your tickets there and come see us if you're in the Tuscaloosa area. As I'd mentioned, July the 15th through the 16th, we're going to have the 10th annual Mayberry Meetup. And then on July 16th, which is that weekend, part of the meetup, it's going to coincide with that. Neil Brower will be back in Mount Airy doing his summer lecture series. And this time he's going to be doing Opie and the Bully. Now, that's going to be on Saturday at 2 p.m. So I mentioned on Friday at 2 p.m., we're going to show the Mayberry Man movie during the meetup. On Saturday, we're going to be able to go down and see Neil and give his presentations. To be able to part of that presentation, you do have to have a ticket for the museum. So you've had to go and see the museum and be there. To come see the Mayberry Man movie on that Friday, you won't have to do that. So just come and see it until we're full. As long as it's not full, you can get in there. So it's going to be free, basically. So come and see us. This is something interesting I didn't tell about before. They're going to have on August the 5th through the 7th, 2022, Jamie Farr, who was on the Andy Griffith Show, is Silvio the Gypsies, that episode, a color episode. He's going to be among the stars participating in Fanboy Expo in Knoxville, Tennessee. So go and check that out. You can go to fanboyexpo.com to get more information. August 12th, Mayberry is going to be the theme for this week of Fridays on it's the Poultry Concert Series. I got to say that right. It's going to be that on August the 12th. We're going to be in Troy, Ohio, And they're going to be having an event that day, and they're going to have Baraka Valley playing music. You're going to have tribute artists doing a show, and they're going to have a screening of Mayberry Man movie at dark. So you'll be able to come see it there. So Mayberry Man is going to be in several options for you this summer. You can come and see. On August the 20th, Neil again will be back at the Andy Griffith Museum doing the Mr. McBeevy. All right. And so then the last thing that's really wrapping up the late summer, beginning of fall, Mayberry Days in Mount Airy, North Carolina is coming up. It's the 33rd annual one, September 19th through the 25th. So head to Mount Airy, North Carolina, and you can be a part of the Emmett Golf Tournament, the Mayberry Days dinner and entertainment. We're going to have T. Graham Brown, country music star. T. Graham Brown will be there. We're going to have Ronnie Shell's going to be performing during Mayberry Days. The Doug Dillard tribute concert by the Dillards, featuring Rodney Dillard, is going to be happening during that time. Don Knott's daughter, Karen, is going to be there presenting a book talk of her book, Tied Up in Knots. She's going to be presenting a book talk. That should be a lot of fun. There's a lot of information out there. Go and check out mayberrydays.com for more information. And finally, the last thing I'll go ahead and mention to you, well, I could mention on the 24th, which is that same weekend, the Dillards are going to be headlining at the Uncle Penn Fest at the Bill Monroe Music Park and Campground south of Indianapolis, between Morgantown and Nashville, Indiana. So he'll be there as well. BillMonroeMusicPark.com. Check that out. So there's a few more events in here. Karen Knotts is going to be having some performances, and then they're going to have the Mayberry Cruise in October 23 through 29. So you can still go. So if you want information about going, you can check out the e-bullet or check out the event calendar I'm talking to you about. And you can get in touch with All About Cruises in North Carolina for more information. So there's a lot of information. Go and check out that event calendar on imayberry.com just to find out all the great things that are going on. All right. All right. So guys, that is a quick rundown of the things going on throughout the summer that I really think you need to be aware of. So many folks don't know about these Mayberry events that are happening or Mayberry things that are going on, and you miss out. So I'm sad about that. I'm just always sad that you guys don't know about these things and you miss out on them. So I hope you'll be able to make it to at least one of those events, because I know you're really going to like it. So now let's do a little bit of Mayberry trivia. All right. So this is from SpiritWalker. Now, last week he did this with us as well. He came up with the trivia that was from season 1 of the Andy Griffith Show. And we did 10 questions. So we're going to do questions 11 through 21 this week. So if you didn't get questions 1 through 10, go back and listen to last week's episode, number 687, and you can listen to those first ones. But these are all specific to a particular episode during season 1. Okay, so let's head to the questions, and I know you're going to enjoy it. So here's question number 11. So I'm going to call it 11. We're going to do 11 through 21. This is from the Christmas episode, Christmas story, right? The question is, besides Andy, who else in the episode is shown with a Mayberry Sheriff badge? Besides Andy, who else in this episode is shown with a Mayberry Sheriff badge? Now, this is episode number 11, the Christmas story. Who else besides Andy is shown with a sheriff badge? A Christmas badge. That would have been cool too. All right, so here comes the answer. The answer is Opie. Opie is the only one that has a sheriff's badge. Okay, besides Andy, who else in the episode is shown with a Mayberry Sheriff badge? It was Opie. Now, the others must have had deputy badges, because he's got a picture of Opie showing this picture off. He shows it. So my guess is the rest of the people had deputy badges, but Opie had a sheriff badge. Hey, way to go, Opie. I never noticed that. And it happens to be upside down, by the way, when Opie's holding it up. So you can see that. All right. Question number 12. A stranger in town is what this one's coming from. How much does a haircut cost at Floyd's Barbershop? Hey, how much does a haircut cost at Floyd's Barbershop? How much is it? All right. So how much does a haircut cost at Floyd's Barbershop? And then the episode Stranger in Town. So here comes the answer. Here comes the answer. All right. The answer is $1. $1. You can see the sign in the background while Ed Sawyer is looking and talking to the folks there in the barbershop. So a haircut was $1, a shave was 35 cents, a shampoo was 75 cents, and a shine was 25 cents. Yeah. So I guess a shave and a haircut was $1.35. It's $1.35, Barney. Give me $1.35. It doesn't tell how much witch hazel is in that song. All right, next question, number 13. Mayberry Goes Hollywood is the episode. Mayberry Goes Hollywood. What does Barney accidentally do to a record 3 times in this episode? What does Barney accidentally do to a record 3 times in this episode? What does Barney accidentally do to a record 3 times in this episode? I don't remember. So what is the answer to this one? The answer is, he does it a record. He doesn't do it. It has an A in there. What does accidentally do a record 3 times in this? Not to a record. He does it a record 3 times. He locks himself in a jail cell 3 times. I can't read. That's part of the problem. So give yourself that question because I messed it up. The question should be, what does Barney accidentally do a record 3 times in this episode? Not to a record. Where was I getting the 2? I don't know. Accidentally do to a record. He didn't do that. He did it a record 3 times. He locked himself in a cell. So there you go. Whether you got that one right or not, check it off. I'm giving you full credit because Alan can't read. All right. So the next question. Episode number 14, The Horse Trader. What does Barney drink 4 of inside of 15 minutes? I do know this one. What does Barney drink 4 of inside of 15 minutes? If you don't serve it to me, I do. All right. So the answer is he drinks root beer floats. He drinks 4 root beer floats. And he had started on his 5th, by the way. If you don't serve it to me, I'll just get it somewhere else. That's a great one. Root beer floats is what he was getting. So that's what Barney, he drank 4 of inside of 15 minutes is a root beer float. All right. Next question. Number 15, Those Gossiping Men is the name of the episode. What is different about the door to the back room in the barbershop than in all other episodes? What is different about the door to the back room in the barbershop than in all other episodes? On the Gossiping Men, Those Gossiping Men, what's different about the door to the back room in the barbershop than in all other episodes? It's a barbershop. I don't know. Do y'all know this one? I don't know. The answer, what's different about the door to the back room of the barbershop than in all other episodes? It has a solid door instead of a curtain. Good job in the chat room. I saw him getting this right. Good job there in the chat room. There's a solid door over there. Oh, that is interesting. I never had even noticed that before. Great job catching that one, SpiritWalker. All right, next question, number 16, the beauty contest. The beauty contest. Who was the first female seen inside of Floyd's barbershop? Must have happened on this episode, by the way. Who was the first female seen in Floyd's barbershop? All right. It's the beauty shop. The beauty contest is the name of the episode that this is coming from. Who was the first female seen inside of Floyd's barbershop? Though the answer is it was Mary Wiggins, Opie's first girlfriend, seen on the Andy Griffith Show. She was the first female in Floyd's barbershop. Yeah, I'll have to make sure she knows that. Great job. I love these. These are great. I did not know. Should know that probably, but I didn't. All right. Number 17. Number 17. Alcohol and old lace. Here's the question. The upside down map on the left behind Andy's desk is a map of what state? Okay, so the upside down map, behind Andy's desk on the left is a map of what state? What state is it? It's upside down. We know that much. And this is from the episode Alcohol and Old Lace. So the upside down map on the left behind Andy's desk is a map of Idaho. It's upside down, but it's right there over Andy's shoulder. You can see it in the episode, and it's an Idaho map turned upside down. So that's pretty neat. So there was another, the other map on the other side is an upside down map of the border between California and Nevada, by the way. So there's another map behind him on the right. So there's another little bit of trivia. All right. So next question, number 18. Andy the Marriage Counselor is this episode. So what is the title of the book written by Professor Masamoto? What is the title of the book written by Professor Masamoto? Andy the Marriage Counselor. What is the title of the book written by Professor Masamoto? The answer is The Art of Judo. The Art of Judo. So that's a marriage counselor? I didn't realize that one. Is that right? Andy the Marriage Counselor. I didn't realize that. Okay, cool. Wow. That's when that one is. Judo for Dummies is a good guess that somebody made in the chat room, but that's not right. The Art of Judo is the name of the book. All right. Number 19. Mayberry on Record. Mayberry on Record. What is the title of the album Mr. Maxwell's records in Mayberry? What was the title? What is the title of the album that Mr. Maxwell records in Mayberry? Okay. What's the title of the album that Mr. Maxwell records in Mayberry? This is from Mayberry on Record. The title of the album is Music from Mayberry. Okay, so I did a podcast about this a while back. If you'll remember, the album Music of Mayberry, Miss Ellie can be seen holding it at the end of the episode, and it's actually a doctored cover of Andy's actual album that was called Andy Griffith Shouts the Blues and Old Timey Songs. So they doctored that and made it say Music from Mayberry. It's actually got Andy on the cover. So that's a pretty cool one. So that's a previous episode. You can go back somewhere and find, I don't know what episode number that was, but I've covered that way back. All right. So here's our next question. Episode number 20, Andy Saves Barney's Morale is the episode. Andy Saves Barney's Morale. Question is, though Mayor Pike is the fourth person seen getting a haircut, that's interesting to know. He's the first seen with what on his shoulders? So though Mayberry, so the Mayor Pike is the fourth person seen getting a haircut. He's the first seen with what on his shoulders? Oh, that's a good one too. All right, we'll read it one last time, then I'll give you the answer. Though Mayor Pike is the fourth person seen getting a haircut, he's the very first one seen with what on his shoulders? Hair, cut hair. Yeah, the hair was actually on the shoulders, on the cover, the towel, the thing that goes around them. So he had it around him, the apron around his neck, and he had the hair on it. So actually he had the hair. So there you go. Hair is seen on his shoulders. And, and that's pretty good from Floyd too, because Mayor Pike didn't have that much hair, but it's all on there. So, all right, here's our last question, guys. Last question for this evening. Episode number 21, Andy and the Gentleman Crook is the episode. Andy and the Gentleman Crook. What does Barney put in Gentleman Dan's cell to remind him of Alcatraz? What does Barney put in Gentleman Dan's cell to remind him of Alcatraz? Barney's so thoughtful. He's so thoughtful. All right, so the answer, what does Barney put in Gentleman Dan's cell to remind him of Alcatraz? The answer is he puts a picture of a sailboat on the sea. That's what he puts. It's a picture of a sailboat on the sea to remind him of Alcatraz. So there you go. And that is our list of questions for this week. And I want to thank SpiritWalker for that. Great fun. I hope you guys enjoyed that. I know I did. That's a lot of fun. So I learned a lot of things. I think you may have too. Plus, I learned I can't read, which, well, actually, we already knew that if you've listened to any of my previous shows. All right, guys. So now, thanks to SpiritWalker, we had those great questions. And now we're going to hear from him himself. Here's SpiritWalker with Returning to Me.
Won't you turn on the Andy Griffith Show? Forget all your cares and woes. Sit back, relax, and laugh with friendly folks you know. Take up your fishing pole.
Welcome to Returning to Mayberry with special correspondent SpiritWalker from the Andy Griffith Show Esquire Club.
Thanks, Randy. Hello, Mayberry Spirit Watchers. Welcome to the Esquire Club and another segment of Returning to Mayberry, where we take a person, place, or thing from Mayberry, connect it to something outside of Mayberry, connect that to something else, and continue the connections until something returns to Mayberry within 6 degrees. Now, in the last segment, I connected 10 different people associated with Howard Morris. Rob Reiner, Larry Hovis, Joanna Moore, Mark Miller, Joyce Jameson, Norman Alden, Elvia Allman, Amzie Strickland, Sam Harris, and Alan Melvin. So I'm going to pick one to start out with in this segment. I'm choosing Larry Hovis. I also thought it might be fun to start what I'm calling a Mayberry chain. So I'm going to take a person from episode 1 of season 1, connect them to someone from episode 2 of season 1, and then connect that to someone from 3 and 4 and 5, and all the way through all 32 episodes of season 1. And when I get to episode 32, connect someone from that episode to episode 1, making in effect a Mayberry necklace. So let's see if I can do it. Larry Hovis appeared as Gilly Walker in 2 episodes, and they were 2 of my favorites. Goober Takes a Car Apart and The Case of the Punch in the Nose, both in season 5. Of course, the whole punch in the nose incident started when Floyd punched Charles Foley in the nose. Foley was played by actor Frank Ferguson, who appeared in 5 episodes of The Andy Griffith Show, including the very first one. In season 1, episode 1, The New Housekeeper, Ferguson played Wilbur Pine, who married Andy and Opie's first housekeeper, Rose. In 1952, however, Ferguson appeared as the prosecutor in the movie $1 Million Mermaid, starring Esther Williams and Victor Mature. Also in the movie were future TAGS alums Jesse White, Willis Boucher, Dabbs Greer, Sam Harris, Colin Kinney, Betty Lynn, and in an uncredited role as a wife on the beach was Lillian Culver, who appeared as Barney's mother in season 1, episode 2. Here's something interesting. If the name Lillian Culver sounds familiar, is because her husband, Harry Hazel Culver, was a real estate tycoon who founded the city of Culver City, California. That's the home of the set of the town of Mayberry. He was also instrumental in starting the 3 major motion picture studios founded in that city, one of which would later become the Desilu Studios. So in a way, Lillian Culver was the mother of the character of Barney Fife. And she was the landlord of the entire town. How cool is that? Also in episode 2, The Manhunt, appearing as the first bad guy to tie up Barney, take his gun, and escape, was Frank Gerstle as escaped convict Dirksen. In 1954, Gerstle appeared as a gas station attendant in the movie The Long, Long Trailer, starring Lucille Ball and Desi Arnaz. Also in the movie were future TAGS alums Gladys Hurlbut, Walter Baldwin, Norman Levitt, Howard McNear, Dorothy Newman, and Connie Van, who appeared as a waitress in Season 1, Episode 3. Also in Episode 3, the guitar player, appearing as Talbot, the postmaster, was Andy Griffith's good friend, Dub Taylor. In 1957, Taylor appeared as a character called Hud in an episode of The Adventures of Ren 1010, entitled The Courtship of Marshall Higgins. Also in that episode, playing Mrs. Effie Trindle, was actress Cheerio Meredith, who appeared as Emma Brand in Season 1, Episode 4. Also in Episode 4, Ellie Comes to Town, appearing as Aunt B, with 2 E's, was veteran actress Frances Bavier. In 1953, Bavier appeared as Lou Bloor in the TV movie McCoy of Abilene. Also in the movie were future TAGS alums George Nader, James Best, and Robert Easton, who played Pete Johnson in Season 1, Episode 5. So there we have the first 5 links in our Mayberry chain. From Frank Ferguson in Episode 1 to Lillian Culver in Episode 2. From Frank Gerstle in Episode 2 to Connie Van in Episode 3. From Dub Taylor in Episode 3 to Cheerio Meredith. And from Frances Bavier in Episode 4 to Robert Easton in Episode 5. And we'll continue from Episode 5 in our next installment in our attempt to connect all of the episodes of Season 1 together, actor to actor, in the Mayberry chain. Hey, if you have a suggestion for links, drop me a line at the Andy Griffith Show Esquire Club on Facebook, and I'll be glad to see what I can do with them. Until next time, thanks for being here. I appreciate it. And keep spreading that Mayberry spirit. I thank you. It's so fine to spend some time with all these dear old
all right.
friends of mine. Have a bottle
So
of
thanks to
wine,
SpiritWalker for that. He did a great job connecting all those things together. If you want to make sure you're not missing out on any of the stuff SpiritWalker's doing, you can head over to facebook.com/groups/TAGS Esquire Club. TAGS Esquire Club. It's the group over on Facebook. So we will be having a test on that chain. So I do expect you to be able to repeat that entire chain that SpiritWalker just went through. I believe I'm going to have to rewind and listen to that again after the podcast so that I can try to keep up with it. I started trying to write it down, and I was like, wow, my goodness, this is a good one. So yeah, that was a lot of connections he was making there. So that was fun to hear. So great job. Great research that SpiritWalker does every time he does Returning to Mayberry. Same is true with Randy Turner when they're doing their, when he does his, This Week in Mayberry History. The amount of research they do for those segments is amazing. So I really do appreciate all the hard work and just for doing it for us, the fans. So we really do appreciate it. Friends, I hope you have gotten something out of this episode. Either you enjoyed the trivia or you enjoyed finding out about some of the Mayberry events that are going to be coming up throughout the summer of 22. And just one of these things, I hope, was something that you found usable in your life and in your Mayberry world. I would love to hear from you. You can give me a call at 888-684-8415. And you could call me at, which you could call me, or email me at floyd@mayberry.com. Folks, I want to invite you to head over to weaversdepartmentstore.com and check out some of the great stuff they have over at Weavers. They got some miracle salve. That's right. You can get miracle salve for your very own. And while you're there, you might want to check out some Mayberry Man playing cards so you'll have something to do sitting under the trees and stuff. So get you both and just have some fun. Head over to weaversdepartmentstore.com. Folks, thank you so much for being here with me. And I look forward to seeing you next week right here on Two Chairs. Good night, everybody.